Welcome back. Okay, so we have now used the task app to create requests which are being verified to gather our food requests. And what we're going to do now is use Zapier to create a delivery in a queue for the delivery team who can see the details, the location, etc. They can do the delivery and they can record it very quickly so that you have the information around the delivery, evidence that was done, geolocation, etc. And we'll reward the team with some tokens/points. To do this, we're going to be using Zapier. And as you see in the notes, you need to create an account with Zapier and you need to get logged in. You also need to check documentation on how to add the task app to your Zapier account. So please check those links before you continue. Here we have our project, and we're going to look for food requests. We're going to send them through to the food bank outreach and allow our delivery team to action these requests. So into Zapier, I'm going to make a Zap, and when this happens, I'm going to search for task. I'm using task 1.0.0, and we've got when this happens, we're going to send completed activities, completed tasks in tasks. We've got, we've chosen the app task. The trigger event is send a completed task. That is, we're going to send a completed task, which is a food request. The food request is accepted. So click continue. You'll see that I have a number of different accounts here. I'm going to have to add a new account, and it's asking for the username and the password. To get that, go into your business account and choose one of the projects. Click Edit Project, scroll down on the left, click API and Workflows, and you should see your user ID and API key. Copy both these across, click Yes, Continue. And you see that my task account with my food bank test, that's now been connected. You only need to do this once. Now it's connected to Zapier. You won't ever need to do that again. Click Continue. Project, it will search the projects you've got. I'm looking to get the completed task from food requests. Select that, click Continue. Now we're going to grab some test data. Zapier is going to go and chat to task, and it's going to look in this project and look to find a recently completed task, of which there should be one because we did one in the last video. And there it is. We can see this task which was brought through. It's called B, and here's all the information that we can grab from task. So completed data, this is everything that's coming through. I mean, we'll run through it quickly. So first of all, we're taking the geolocation, components feedback. This is the information we decided to get from people creating requests. This could be any information that you define. This is what we defined, for example, so recipient name, phone, etc. We've got some other information down here, such as the user that completed the activity. So this is the trigger section completed. The next section is what do we do when that trigger happens. And again, we're just going to loop this background to task. So I'll switch task again. And here, the action event, we just have one at the moment, which is create task. Click continue. Again, it asks me for the account I want to use. This time I don't need to do anything. It's there ready to go. Click continue. Now here we have quite a long form, and it allows us to create tasks to be queued up for your delivery team. So let's take it from the top, and we'll work through the form fields that we need to be completing here. Okay, we're going to be adding new tasks into the food bank outreach. Task title, recipient, colon, and I'll look for the recipient's name. Okay, that was, see, Susie and Frank. And I would add perhaps their address. In task details, we're going to build all the information that our delivery team need to know about so that they can complete this delivery. Let me add that in. Okay, these are the task details that I've added. So we've got the recipient name, their contact number, the address, how many food packs we're going to provide for that number of people, and also I've added who the request was sent in by so we can see that it was sent in by Tony Stark. Next section, and this is probably the most complicated, is the feedback actions. And what we need to do here is this is going to be when the delivery team drop off the food packs, what information do we want from them? Now, we can have it that they provide zero information. All they have to do is click a button to say the delivery's been done. So what we'll do is we're going to add some optional fields that they can fill out if they would like to, but they don't have to because they're going to be working fast and we don't want to slow down their pace. The way that we can create this feedback field data is come through to any project, into tasks, and give a title of test task. Ignore all the settings, they're not going to be relevant, as you'll see. And I'm going to add a text area. I've added a label, details, and the instructions. If there's any delivery issues or other observations, please add them here. It's going to be optional. We don't want people to have to do this, but it's there if they need it. I'm also going to add the option to take images and photos because your delivery team can also turn into your marketing team. If they can take pictures that you can be sharing out socially, this is, it's useful to do in terms of the story of what your business is doing out there, creating impact. So I've added a label, images, and instructions. If you have the time to provide any pictures of the work we're doing, great, but it's optional and we must respect privacy. So this is also not going to be required. Save the task. And then immediately click the task again. And over here on the right hand side you see that we have this JSON. We can switch out of the editor mode, which we have here, and switch to JSON. And this, don't be scared if you're not technical. All you want to do is come down and find this section here called component attributes. And with your mouse, select from this, you've got a square bracket. Select that square bracket and go down to the end, and you should see another closing square bracket. This is the area that you then want to copy. And in Zapier, click and insert, paste that information. Just to tidy up here, you can then expire this task, so you don't want to see that inside the project. So those are the feedback actions. Working down the rest of the create task options that we have. So verify tasks, no, we'll leave that false. Points tokens, we'll give 10 points when a delivery person makes a delivery. Let's have them earning some points. Funding requirements, we'll come back to this later in a later tutorial. Center timeline. This is depends really on how you want to manage your project. I'd probably set that to false, and therefore social sharing is not relevant. Just moving down, this is important. Task multiprocessing. You want to set that to this option, which is let this task be processed one time only. That's really important because this is a delivery, and once it's done, it goes out the queue. Another area I think is relevant to organizing deliveries is going to be the category and subcategory. We can organize tasks into categories. Now, if we were doing a more complicated food request system, we'd have probably asked for a postcode or something that we could use to organize deliveries into particular areas. We don't have that in this simple use case, but I will have a category which we'll call deliveries. So you can see how categories work as we test it. Finally, this metadata area is important because this will store all the data that we want to send out to our reporting later on. So I'm going to add information. Let me add it and I'll talk you through it. Okay, that's done. We've got the requester username. We've also got the location of the requester, their longitude, latitude, which can be very useful for our reporting, the timestamp. Then we've got all the recipient information and their contact number. I'll show you the significance of this later on. Click continue. And now we're going to, at this point, Zapier wants us to send a test task. Let's do it. And our test was successful. Let's go and have a look. Let's go into Julie's account and into Food Bank Outreach. What we're looking for now, there should be a delivery. There you see we now have categories have appeared with deliveries. Tap inside and here's our recipient, Susie and Frank, the address. And if you remember, this is how we planned out the details to our delivery team, the request sent in by Tony. And we have the details, which you'll see both of these are optional because our delivery team, they may want to just tap the button. We'll take their geolocation. We know the delivery has been done. But in other instances, they may have information they'd like to feedback. So for our test, I've added some details. No one at home, knocked and left package. I also added an image. Tap the blue button to complete the task. Our delivery person earned 10 points. And you can see that we've automatically removed that delivery from the queue. Final step is back in Zapier. We'll click Done Editing. And you'll see we're asked to name our Zap. Let's call it Food Requests to the Delivery Team. Switch Zap on. And the Gather Food Requests automation to the delivery team is all set up and live.